What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Moving to Florida show. I am your host, Judson. He is my co-host, Mohit Badlani.
What up? What up?
Mo, it's hot out there, dude.
Yeah, it's a little it's a little bit too hot today.
It's been warm lately,
Yeah.
admittedly, but you know, one thing I've been hearing on the news is that there's a heat wave, everywhere, right?
Yeah, just like the song.
But you know, one thing I have not seen is anything about a heat wave in Florida.
No.
So I figured we needed to dive into this because people always talk about Florida being too hot, right?
Yeah, but you know what, to be honest with you, it seems like any other summer here. It doesn't seem anything abnormal. We're having our evening or afternoon late showers, which I feel like it's on its way here. I'm looking out the window right now and I see the bushes starting to move. The wind is coming in quite strong and it's going to be raining, or it might be a fluke. Yesterday, last couple of days has been a fluke though.
Hey, not in Claremont. It's poured in Claremont the last few days.
Really? Yeah, it just skipped us by.
Yeah, so guys, we do get these, summertime just torrential downpours, it seems like, that are consistently every day. But yeah, sometimes it will fake you out, like Mo was saying. It'll get real stormy and somehow it just misses you. You know, it's raining maybe a mile away. Yep. I've seen that too. You know, we're kind of on a ridge looking at our backyard. It's real kind of open space, really all the way through over to Disney area. And sometimes I'll look out there and it is just like storming right across the lake.
Right.
But we're getting maybe a couple of drops. I mean, that happens too.
Yeah, and sometimes you'll see where it's you'll look to your right and it's dark and cloudy and it looks like it's about to rain any second. Then you look to your left and it's bright and sunny.
Yeah, it's just clear, sunshine, beautiful. Definitely a Florida thing.
It's a Florida thing for sure.
Yeah, so I mean, it is hot here, guys, but from what I'm seeing on the news, it is much hotter in other parts of the country and even of the world where it's not normally hotter than Florida. So we've got a heat wave right now going on in Texas.
Yeah.
That's not uncommon, right? I mean, Texas is kind of like Florida. It's hot there.
Yeah, it's quite hot there, but it's a lot, like parts of it is drier than we are. So they're not as humid.
Deserts.
Yeah. They're not as humid. Like I would say like Austin and Dallas and stuff, they were hitting records that they haven't hit in like 70, 80 years. So like 108 degrees, 110 degrees Fahrenheit. And they're breaking records or tying records right now.
Right. Well, and then, like I said, in Texas, they know how to handle it. They're like us. They've got ACs, they're right sized to cool the home.
Right.
But a lot of this heat wave is moving up through the north and the northeast as well. And I think a lot of those guys are not as prepared. I mean, if you guys are a listener, you're living in that area and it's hot right now, let us know.
Yeah.
We want to hear about it. But I'm looking at kind of a real-time map right now, and 97 in Houston. Looks like it's 100 degrees in Arkansas and then in Missouri as well, 100 degrees.
Yeah.
99 degrees in Utah.
Really?
Meanwhile, let's see, Boston, 89 degrees right now.
Okay, that's not terrible. 89
not
degrees
terrible,
is like
but it is
our spring and fall.
So right now, according to this map, right now in Jacksonville, it's 89, Jacksonville, Florida. So that's our northeast. In kind of up in the Panhandle, 87. Right here, Central Florida, Tampa, Orlando, 89.
All right.
So, I mean, we're the same temperature as Boston right now.
Yeah, it's not terrible.
But I get this. Let me pull up my other thing. I'm pulling up my weather app. I was looking at this earlier. Okay, right now, my weather map for Claremont, it says it's 92 degrees.
Okay.
But it also says it's a thunderstorm. It says it's a light drizzle right now. And it says the feels like temp is 101.
Whoa. That's probably
so
with
it's
the humidity.
raining. It's raining, and it feels like 101. It was a warm one today, guys. I know I got out of the car at 9 a.m. at the office, and I was like, man, it's a little hot for 9 a.m.
Yeah, but the thing here in Florida is, I would say, especially here in Central Florida, it starts off warm and it ends up warm. It's not like there's like a significant temperature drop, maybe 5 degrees, maybe 10 degrees tops. But it's not like where you feel like there's a huge difference between the daytime and nighttime. The only thing is, the daytime you'll have the sun beaming on you. That's about it.
True. Yeah. Well, and I mean, nights are definitely cooler, but yeah, it's not like a huge temperature drop. Especially if you're going to be out, doing something outside, you're still probably going to be sweating.
Yeah.
In the evenings here
in
Central Florida, especially. Let me go back to my photos and see, because I looked at a couple of other things.
I know.
Yeah, so earlier today, and this is an hour before we hit record, I was looking at it. It was 94 degrees at the time, partly cloudy, and again, that feels like was 103.
Yeah.
But nobody is saying there's a heat wave in Florida, right?
No,
It's heat
it's
wave
normal.
in these other places.
It's normal here.
So again, like I said, I know in the Northeast they're not used to it. I've seen some parts of Texas had 111 degrees.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. That's not the feels like, that's the actual
Temperature. It feels like feels like an oven.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. So, and that's when I was looking at it. This was from yesterday, actually, but I screenshot an actual map. Over in Phoenix, 111. Phoenix, Arizona.
Yikes.
El Paso, 106. Albuquerque, New Mexico, 100. San Antonio, 105.
Wow.
Houston was 101. At the same time as all of those, it was 88 in Jacksonville and 91 in Miami.
There you go. So we're a little better weather than they are.
There you go, guys. It's not, the heat in Florida is not so bad.
It's not so bad. It's not terrible.
It's definitely better than those 110 degrees.
Oof, you can probably cook some eggs on the street over there.
Right now, that is, like you said, that's the desert. We do have the humidity here that apparently makes it feel 12 degrees warmer than it is.
Yeah.
Looking at those numbers earlier. But then, again, at that same time in the Northeast, Washington, D.C. was 93. Boston was 89.
Yeah.
And again, I know up there they don't have the AC. So, I mean, at least here, we hunker down inside. We got the AC going. If you're going to get outside and do some athletics or something, that's fine. I do have a kind of a story on that front, Mo.
Let's go.
We did a little yard work the other day.
How did that go?
Installed a custom like flower bed edging, with the brick paver type things.
Yeah.
It was warm. It was a little warm out. Admittedly, like, my wife was just dying. She was like, "This is like." We were pretty strong for the first few hours, 2-3 hours, and after that, we're like power hydrating. We had the fan set out, but we'd last 5 minutes, 10 minutes top, and we'd have to take a break. And we're like, man, like, are we just out of shape or what? Like,
yeah,
we got to get back to walking. Well, later on, we did realize it was 107 heat index that day, and we were working in the sun. We had no shade out there. It was not. It was at a investment property. It was not our home, so we didn't have everything. It was pretty brutal that day, I will admit.
Yeah, 107 is no joke. I mean, now that you're a Floridian officially, you bought your second home here. Now you're officially a Floridian. You shouldn't be going outside and doing outdoor work at like at 4 in the afternoon, 3 in the afternoon of the peak of the day, or was it earlier on the day?
Well, it started earlier.
Earlier.
As projects tend to go, they take longer than you think.
Yeah.
I think we wrapped up by 4:30 that day.
Yeah, when it's that hot, you won't see me outside. You'll be either see me in the car, which I'll do. You know what? Here's going back a little bit. Cars here should have a auto start. You know what?
Or you should have it. Yeah,
start.
I mean, it is definitely worthwhile. If you don't have a remote start on your vehicle when you're moving to Florida, just plan to get rid of that car.
Yeah.
Either install it. I know it can be installed aftermarket, or get a vehicle that has that remote start.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I mean, we had that up in Chicago too, because it would be freezing cold. So you want to turn your car on and let it warm up, right? And before you get in. And yeah, you need that here. You got to let this car cool down. You got to get inside. Otherwise, when you go inside your vehicle, and especially if you have a darker car, it's crazy. I mean, you just by touching the steering wheel or even your seatbelt, you could get hurt really badly. You get sunburned or burnt by these metal pieces.
Yeah, so definitely you want a remote start, especially if your car's in your garage. Not too bad. I mean, it gets warm in the garage, but if you're in the shade, that's the thing here in Florida. Our premium parking spots are not the closest to the door; they're the shady spots.
Yeah, the shady spots. Yeah,
but you want that remote start so you can start it up, let it start cooling down, or if it's an electric car, most of those have an app now. I'm blessed to have that on mine. I use it like every time I'm headed to the car. I pull the phone out and hit the app and do the remote start, just so that the AC is blasting when I get in the car.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you can't live without AC down here. I'm sure now they're feeling the same way up in the Northeast and the West Coast. That hey, you know what? We do need AC in central AC or something, some kind of AC.
I'm sure a lot of y'all listening. Yeah, I'm sure a lot of y'all listening are going, "Oh, it's so hot, we might as well move to Florida," right?
Exactly. Exactly.
Y'all come on down. The water is fine.
But when I used to live in, like I said, when we used to live in Chicago, we would have heat waves there, but it wouldn't be terrible in the sense of like you'd have a week of heat wave. It would be like the first week or two of July, and that's it. Then it'll go back to, snow. I'm just kidding. But it'll go back to normal weather.
Right. Well, but I think that's what it is, us as Floridians, after your first couple of summers here, I think you acclimate a little bit. I think you get used to it in a sense. I mean, you learn, I'm not going to go for a bike ride at 3 o'clock in the afternoon or go do, yard work in the sun. That's not smart. I think you learn those things, but also I do think you acclimate to it. You get used to the heat a little bit. And just get to where, it's hot, but it's not that bad. Like I can, you just get used to it a little bit because it's not a 2-week thing. It gets hot. Here we are in July. I feel like June wasn't super warm. But again, maybe that's just because I've been here 6 years now.
Yeah. You've been acclimated with the heat.
Exactly. And we had hot, humid summers in Louisiana too.
Oh, yeah.
So I think part of it is just, kind of being used to it. But it did seem to not get as warm until this month. This month definitely does seem warmer than last month. And I mean, truly, our hottest months are August and September. August and September is when it really gets hot. So here we are close to the end of July recording this. And we'll see. Maybe that heat wave will have moved over here. Come the next few months, we might have to come back and say, turns out there was a heat wave in Florida.
Right. So far, so good. It hasn't been terrible. I mean, like you mentioned, you had 107 degrees outside and whatnot. But for the most part, us Floridians, either we're staying in the pool or we're inside, you know what, or in some kind of body of water, in a lake somewhere or something. But
in a spring, if you're a little north of us here, I've got family coming in next week. We're going to hit the water park. We're going to Aquatica.
There you go.
We know how to stay cool too.
Yeah. But the people that I do feel bad for are people who are doing outside work, like your yard work and your construction workers. These guys are sitting out here in the heat for like 6, 7, 8 hours at a time, and it's kind of brutal. Sure. It is brutal, and I see them like I'll go into a 7-Eleven sometimes to pick up a cold drink or something, and you'll see lined up, and they're all sweaty and smelly. But I feel for them, man. It's not easy working out here in this heat, especially here in Florida. I know in Texas they do a lot of new construction out there, and there's new construction happening everywhere. It's just here in Florida, we're just so used to seeing new construction happening at every time, everywhere, at every location almost, and you just feel for those guys.
Yeah, they're out there in the heat for sure. I mean, most of them are probably drinking a gallon of water a day,
and
because you sweat through that, man. And then some of them a 12-pack in the evening too. I mean, you got to keep on cooling off, right?
Yeah.
So I did go to the YouTubes earlier, checking out some different videos on the heat waves that are going on. So as you said, the song came up.
Yep.
That was the main hit. But there's a heat wave in the UK going on as well.
Yeah.
Shout out to you guys shout out to you international listeners we have. One of the videos I saw, they said it was a record temp in London. It was 98 degrees, and that was the hottest temperature recorded in the country ever. But it was expected to push over 100, possibly up to as high as 105 in London and in Paris.
Wow.
Which is crazy too, because I mean, I think their climate's a little more probably like we would think of maybe as California, a lot cooler.
Yeah, exactly. And their summertime should be like in the 70s and 80s usually. It's never anything higher than that. Maybe a couple of days here and there will hit over 90, but this is consistently they're over 95 degrees. So it's something unusual for them, and they don't actually have an infrastructure where everything is air conditioned like we are.
Yes, exactly. I mean, that's part of it. They're just not, their infrastructure is not built for that. Matter of fact, on the Northeast, one of the videos said what made it an official heat wave was 3 days in a row over 90 degrees. That made it an official heat wave. And I'm like, wow, if we counted that in Florida, we're in a heat wave from July until September, sometimes till Halloween.
What would you consider a heat wave here? Because I usually, when whenever I've been here since '98, so when we had like some extreme heat, I would say when there was no rain for about a week and a half, that's when we would consider a heat wave, because that's when you start seeing plants and stuff, catch on like some of these little forests and stuff would catch on fire, and you'd have those forest fires around here. And that's when we would consider it heat wave, but we haven't seen that in a little while now. It's been a few years.
Yeah, I mean, I've been here 6 years and I've not seen anything like that. I mean, certainly we've had a few patches where it's dry, and I think that's the thing. These consistent afternoon showers we talk about here are part of what does keep it cool. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely more humid after that rain, but it cools it down. I mean, sometimes, 10 degrees, it can make a huge difference and cool it down pretty nicely for sure.
Yeah.
So yeah, Mo, anything else to say on the heat wave?
No, guys, I feel for you guys who are going through this, not used to it. You got to become a Floridian.
That's right. Just come on down to Florida. We'll show you how the air conditioners work. Stay inside during the day. It'll be fine.
Exactly.
But yeah, that's it. It's just we found it funny that nobody was talking about a heat wave in Florida, but truly when I look out there, the temps are they're higher in those places than it is here right now, but we know that can change too. We're thankful for these afternoon showers we're getting right now.
Yeah, exactly.
I can see it rolling in over here. It must be moving away from you there, Mo.
It's moving away. Like I said, it just, for some reason, it looked like all the trees and stuff were blowing around here and there, and then it just stopped all of a sudden and not a single drop of rain. Go figure.
There you go. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Well, thank you for listening in to the Moving to Florida show. Y'all come see us in Florida where it's nice and cool.
That's right. We want to hear from you now. You can reach us at our Moving to Florida show hotline by dropping a voicemail or texting us to 407-900-5859, or drop us a DM on Facebook or Instagram at Moving to Florida Show. And for Twitter, our handle is at Moving to FL Show. If you'd like to connect with us, if you have any questions, or if you need a realtor in Florida, you can reach us at movingtofloridashow@gmail.com. Be sure to subscribe to the show if you like our content, so that it would automatically download to your device and get you one step closer to moving to Florida.